Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Seth and Beth podcast. Beth, how are you, my love?
Oh my gosh, it feels so good to be here.
We are here with, I call all of my friends Dear Beth, but Chris holds a special place in my heart, even though this is the first time we've ever met. Because we've had beautiful phone calls and chats for many months leading up to this. This is Chris Jesperson. We are in Cleveland. We are at the Madison, an incredibly exquisite, fantastic wedding venue in Cleveland.
Cute name, cute font, cute building.
Everything about it. Chris, how are you?
That was an intro. I'm doing great.
It's not my first rodeo, bro. And you should know that if you subscribe below, cheap plug. Okay, listen. Thanks for having us. You and I got hooked up from a mutual friend, and there's a lot to unpack with your story, your life, this venue. The reason we do these podcasts is not only to cheers, of course. We have a beautiful.
I was waiting for that.
We have a cheer. We have a beautiful wine bottle we decided to have now. Getting this bottle open over the past 12 minutes.
If you notice see the cork floating on
yes,
top?
if you notice in the wide angle, the cork is in the bottle because
we're screwing
the bar staff is not working today.
We're not. No.
But Chris, thanks so much for having us up here. We're stoked to be here. Now, Beth and I are very new to this Akron, Cleveland market. We're originally from this area. We moved to Columbus for 16 years. We're back. So we need to increase our networking and our ties with people, and we thought of you first. Beth lit a fire under my ass a couple days ago, and that's when I reached out. We've been planning this for a while. Tell us a little bit about you and how you settled on opening this place, and then we'll get into the story of the Madison. But first of all, do a slight introduction of yourself for our listeners.
My name's Chris. Hello. And originally I'm from Seattle, the Seattle area, Pacific Northwest, and my wife got a full ride to university out here, Case Western Reserve, so we moved out. I started doing wedding videos, and then, slowly, very quickly, opened up a wedding venue. And now we're here in Cleveland, and I travel the world doing wedding videos, and we have this beautiful venue here in Cleveland, and have these amazing events here, and wait, I was going to say event venue, not wedding venue.
Oh. What other events do you have here?
Fundraisers and business meetings and galas and all that,
Yeah.
So where exactly are we in Cleveland?
We're very close to downtown. We're a little east of downtown, kind of in the Midtown Cleveland, the Asia town. We're all kind of wrapped in right here.
And this is an enormous building. You said it's like 20,000 square feet. It used to be some sort of manufacturing. I'm sure it's like 100 years old, 50 years old?
It is, yeah. It's 100 years old. It's used to be a brass manufacturing company called the Republic Brass Company. That's all I know about it. And then outside of that, it's connected to all the buildings that are here, and then, it's got broken up into different lots. And so we have this part of the building. And had different owners throughout the years. I think most recently was abandoned, and so then we came in and.
Yeah. So when did the turnaround happen? When you got the property and started making it all look this amazing?
Probably 3 years ago now. Yeah, 3 years ago we started looking for buildings. We just went online, and different than Seattle. There's quite a few abandoned buildings and buildings that are for sale and rent, and especially this style. If you were to do the same thing in Seattle, it would cost millions and millions and millions to get something like this downtown. So I really like this style. I like the idea of that you can kind of make this whatever you want. Me and my wife got married in a barn almost 7 or 8 years ago. And I was like, oh, I want to do a barn. And then I was like, what? That's going to be out soon. Maybe it already is. But I thought, if with a space like this, you can make it into a black tie event. You could bring in the hay and make it a barn. I don't care. Bring in the animals, whatever.
I noticed the petting zoo. Over in the.
So my thought is, you could do whatever you want in here. You make it however you want. And that was the whole idea.
Yeah, I noticed initially walking in, it has like sort of old style feel. I think you went with sort of an old style font, taking advantage of kind of the feel of the city. You have a gorgeous sort of a back patio area where people get married. Sort of an alleyway, but like the secret hideaway, Beth.
Do you see how quiet I am?
You're in awe.
I do. Well, first of all, I'm real proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's such a big thing, and you did it. And okay, so like
working on it.
You moved here, and then did you like immediately think like, I think I want to like start a venue?
Yeah. What sparked it? Did you notice something that Cleveland needed?
So I started doing wedding videos and got to travel all over, and I know we'll talk about that some other time. But I am a cinematographer and got to film all these cool weddings, and started just asking people about the venues that we were at. I think we were at the venue where Kanye had his release party 2 years ago in Jackson Hole, or maybe a year ago, whenever that was. But I was there, and I was kind of, Jackson Hole is such a beautiful place, and I asked the owner there, and I was like, is there any other venues here? And they just happened. Oh my God. Wow.
After half a wine glass, he's throwing his hands around.
After a quarter little wine glass. But I asked them, and they said, how about this? I've just heard of a lot of stories of a bunch of different venues around the world that we either were not following the rules or had the right zoning or had the right laws. And I just thought, okay, I can do this thing legally, and I can do it correctly, and I can make sure that I follow all the directions. And then on top of that, I can also make it look beautiful. So I think I'd been going to friends' weddings that had been screwed up by the venue or they didn't show. I mean, crazy stories.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
I was like, if
we see
they're
it
in
all
business,
Right.
I can be in business and I can do things right.
That's a good point.
And then hopefully that'll set me this many steps ahead. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
How many weddings have you had here, and how many do you like to have a year?
We probably have 60 or 70 weddings so far. We just started having weddings last year. A bit of a slow first year. This year has really been busy, and then it's not anymore. Because of COVID, but I think we'd like to have around 70 to 80 weddings.
Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays?
Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Yep.
How many folks can fit in here? The place is enormous.
Yeah. I mean, so we've had up to 1,000 people in here. And I say that without wanting to scare everyone who wants to have
a 300-person wedding or
exactly,
200?
or this is set up for 180 people right here.
It's comfy.
And it's
See, you put up those
Perfect.
so that behind Chris there's like these white sheer linens that can kind of cut off the room, make it not feel too enormous, because you do get in these weddings, Beth, where you have 100 people in like a gymnasium.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we're all in this weird world. There has to be some sort of nice spacing. So I love it. The bar is behind us in the wide shot. There's plenty of parking outside. I've just so besides the amenities of the brick and the beautifulness and the light, like what do weddings feel like on a Saturday night here?
I think okay. How about I tell you my favorite thing to see when people come into the venue, because obviously we're in the middle of kind of a spot that you may not think about having a wedding, and people walk in and they're like, "Where am I? What the heck?" And they kind of walk in and they see the design and all set up, and every single time I sit and watch the guests come in, and they're just like,
jaws open.
Oh my gosh.
That's
and
so
that is the
beautiful.
most fun thing for me to see. I think each wedding is super different. That's why I did this, why I made it a blank canvas. I would have loved to design this out in my personal style, but we didn't. We left it blank, and we've seen every style here. So I think that it's hard to say they all feel like a certain thing. I think what does wrap it, something that ties through all of them is kind of like, where is this secret spot? Like, everyone is really excited when they come here. We've had NBA teams, we've had sports players, we've had big names here, and they're all just like, where is this? This is crazy. So I think that's the common thread tying everything together. But besides that, they're all so different. And that seriously gives me the most joy to come in and see, wow, this is how they envision this place. And then the next day after midnight, we flip it, we reset it, another wedding or another fundraiser. Wow, this is what they designed out for this space. It's so different.
Yeah, I feel like you're calling it a blank canvas, but it's still so naturally beautiful. And the one thing I can't understand is how this is a 100-year-old warehouse, but there's not a speckle of rust anywhere. All the piping looks brand new.
I love all the natural light.
The natural light's absurd. It just pours
so much
in.
natural light in a warehouse building,
And so I guess you could call it blank, but it also feels like it's so like cozy. I can't quite figure out how you transform this place into this place. It's like, how has that journey been?
I think when we walked in, I had to pretend I wasn't interested. I was like, this is it. And my realtor was like, don't. Shh. I was like, was this not a wedding venue before? And he's like, stop. Because the selling agent was there too. I was like, this is 100% it. This is crazy. It's perfect. There's 2 rooms.
How did you know? How did you know so quickly?
I don't know. I just walked in, and then I thought, this is the space. Because I had this idea in my head. I'd seen these kind of warehouses from other people. Really, the idea came from, I wanted to have a cool apartment I wanted a reason to have a cool apartment. So I thought, if we can buy an old building, we can live in it and then have a venue or whatever I need to do to make it a business thing, whatever.
Sure.
But we can have a cool apartment. 3 years down the line, we have a huge venue, bigger than I thought. We don't have an apartment, and it's not a whatever. It is our main thing. So
I think unlike Columbus, Beth, like this warehouse isn't shoved like in some tighter areas where it's very small. There's just so much room. There's little corner rooms and nooks. There's room for catering to go put the food in a certain place. There's a whole nother room next to us for like
cocktail hour.
Cocktail hour.
You can have an outdoor ceremony.
And then
feel
an
like
indoor.
it's
Yes.
exclusive, very personable.
So what kind of feedback have you been getting from your brides and grooms? How do they transform this place? What do they love about it the most?
I think they love that they can do whatever they want. I mean, we like to say yes to everything for the most part. I mean, that's our motto is yes, you can do that within reason. But, we've had weddings hanging swings from the rafters. We've had them
swings.
It was so cool. I think with the garage doors and how open it is, we've had the dueling pianos in here, and we've had cars pull in, and we've had food trucks in the back. So it's just really, you can do whatever you want. And I think that is really for the clients that see it, they come in and they're like, got it, done, perfect.
Yeah,
we know exactly what we want to do in here. And I think that's the biggest feedback is we try to be easy. We're not trying to lock everything down into our way or the highway. You have to use these two caterers and these two vendors, and every wedding's going to look the same. I'm excited about seeing the different types of events that come in here, and really the creativity coming out from our, the clients that are booking the space.
I bet a lot of the designers, that's what they love too, because they can be creative. It is a blank slate where they can add their own personality.
Yeah. I mean, the place can light up like however you want. I mean, we've seen it purple or every color of the rainbow, and that changes the whole feeling of this place. And we've had, for our grand opening party, we had dancers swinging from whatever, silk or something.
Silks,
yeah.
You can just do whatever you want.
So that's what I've seen, like in pictures. I'd be like, wait, like I'll see like one wedding where like I saw the grand opening where it was like all pink, and I was like, oh my gosh, that place is so cool. And then I saw like another wedding, and I was like, that's the same place?
Yeah.
Like I was like,
I think what you're saying is
so
like,
confused.
I'm trying to visualize like when we go to a ballroom, a Westin or a Hilton, well, Hilton maybe not, but like a ballroom, you're going to have that warm light, that look.
Yep.
But obviously with these white walls, sort of, as you said, a blank canvas, is you can change it to your, you can change it to your colors, and you can warm it up or cool it off. I bet DJs love this place with the walls and the way you can like change the lights.
Right,
and
the whole place is crazy. I mean, if that's what you want. If you like, we have weddings where the whole place is changing colors, and we have uplights that go all the way up into here, and it's cool. It's really fun.
What do you think are the biggest differentiators from other like Cleveland venues for this place?
Yeah, I think that we thought of being a venue first. Like that was our first. That's the idea. We came into this wanting to open a venue. We didn't have a building that we had sitting around thinking, hey, we could throw events in here, or nothing like that. We went out looking for a building that we knew we could transform into a venue. I think what else, I think from my experience coming from, working around the world with weddings, seeing what works, what doesn't, really trying to implement all that stuff. And I'm a little embarrassed to say, but not too much. But like, when I first started this, my thought was, how can I make this the easiest for vendors? I wasn't exactly thinking about clients.
Sure.
But what I knew is that the clients didn't know how much it would save them money if the venue could work out for vendors. It's on the first floor intentionally. I hate walking upstairs with all my gear. You can back a semi in. So you can do whatever you want. Hang stuff on the wall, hang stuff from the ceiling. We have electrical everywhere. We have 12 circuits just on that wall, circuits on every single beam going across. So from working events and knowing how much power you need and how much space you need, and I think that's what differentiates it, is that was all intentional. It's not by accident. The reason we picked this and the way we did remodeling on it was all intentional to be an event venue, not an afterthought, not a random building.
Wow.
Beth and I have talked about maybe later in life getting our hands into a venue as well after maybe we're done shooting, just because we love the idea of weddings, but we felt the same things. We've done 200 weddings, and you end up seeing what really works, what really draws clients to venues, and obviously especially what doesn't work. So you're right, it sort of takes someone, I think, from just a general business person, or even a planner, or or even a floor. Beth's asking for more there.
Just a little bit.
And these mini wine glasses.
It really takes sort of a person who has a ton of experience to say, like, this works. Like, I first noticed how incredibly gorgeous. It's stupid to say, but like the bathrooms are incredible.
It's one of our top. Like our biggest compliments.
And it's like, I'm probably going to use the bathroom one time, and so are the guests. But like when you go in and it's wonderful, as opposed
I even
to
like the toilet paper dispenser.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Beth.
I did. I liked it.
And so, yeah, like, it's just those little things, like, because I've definitely gone to a wedding where the bathrooms were awful.
And you're waiting for 15 minutes to go pee.
Yes, there's like a
Yeah.
line of women out the door. So I was like, yeah, just little things like that.
We
It's
have yet
incredible.
to have a line in the bathroom. So all those things are intentional. Same with the bar. I mean, this can grow by another 8 feet and become a huge bar. I hate going to weddings and events when it's a one bartender in the corner and the 30-person line to get one drink. And by
That's
the
right.
time you get up, you want another drink. You know.
That's right.
So this is 16 feet, but we also can make it, 24 feet. So you don't have to wait in line. You know, you can walk up to a huge bar and get your drink immediately. All those things are the things that we're thinking about that a lot of wedding couples are not, because they're typically married once and this is their first time throwing an event like this. And so that's where we try to come add in our expertise and saying, hey, this is what works. You may or may not know that this is going to be beneficial during your wedding day. You may not care that there's a garage door, but I promise your vendors are going to care. They're going to be better attitude. They're going to set up and tear down way quicker. Actually could save you money. And, you know, a lot of places charge to come the next day and whatever, all that stuff. So thinking of it from a vendor, it's incredibly easy to work in.
You know, yeah, Beth, so when clients really take care of us, it's so memorable, and I remember it
Oh, it's
so
like my
well.
favorite place. Like,
Yeah, it's no, I mean, like when clients take care of us, like when they give us a
yes.
nice dinner, when they treat us nice, it just feels like so
I know
rewarding.
that's probably like another thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
from
feel it
being
too.
in
Yeah.
the industry. Like you're like, oh, listen, these people have to have a hot meal.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
to
always
get
in
back to
charge
work.
of that, but I have brought out a bottle of wine for all the vendors and said, let me take care of you guys. You know, things that I wish I could have.
So how big of
Yeah.
a staff do you have with like a 200 or 300 person wedding here? Like, it's
yeah,
crazy,
so
right?
like my staff,
Yeah,
one person. So we have one person on site to take care of the venue.
sure.
I'm saying just from
Yeah,
but to run an event, yeah, it's a lot more. We have our security guard, a Cleveland police officer, and besides that, everything's taken care of from the catering point of view, the designer, the planner.
I see. So like, you saying there's no limitations on catering? How does that work? Like people can get whatever they want and their access to like a big ass kitchen and.
So we don't have a full-on kitchen, but we have a full prep kitchen, so you can come in and prep, and you know, sinks and everything that you need to be on the up and up here, and washable surfaces. But you can bring in whoever you want. It just has to be a licensed caterer. So
I see.
that's the only thing.
Yeah.
And then talk about some other. You mentioned some other big events. What are some cool ones that might spark our interest?
Man, I'm trying to think. We had the Cavs here, the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was really fun. You know, they did it big. They had this was last year. They had their season ticket holder. I believe that to be
You're
what
kidding.
it was. Where they,
Yeah.
all this
Wine and
people-
gold celebration, they call it.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So we had the whole team here, the president, everything. We've worked with the Cleveland Clinic for the past 2 years. They have a big gala here, a big fundraiser. So those have always been really fun.
Yeah.
When they come in, they get it. There's a big room.
Right.
Perfect. I think the Cavs made it this whole New Orleans downtown theme. They projected in each one of these squares, like outside downtown New Orleans, so it looked like you were downtown, and
That's so
it
cool.
was so much fun.
That's so cool.
And talk a little bit. Just mention a smidge about your other life as a cinematographer, because that's also Beth and I talked about having you on a whole other podcast. That's just a whole different topic. But I think people would love to learn what type of really businessman and entrepreneur you are. Just talk about Storybox and.
Again, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of
Thank you. So I'm the owner of Storybox Cinema as well. That's what I started first. And our clients are really kind of high net worth individuals and anyone like business, politics, sports. That's who we're kind of working with. Some of the most beautiful, incredible events across the world, really. We work all over the world, filming these weddings or corporate events or whatever, birthday parties. So yeah, that's what I do.
How long you been doing that?
3 years.
Because you're quite young. We were talking before the
Quite
podcast.
young.
Like you've done so much.
I wish I had a beard
20
like you.
Well, you'll get there.
I don't know.
skin.
Just a baby now.
You
You're
should.
such
I
a
just
baby.
shaved, and it was after 2 weeks of not shaving, and I think it was
stubble?
this long and blonde. You can't see a thing.
This is just a COVID beard. I started this in late Feb, right, Beth?
There's a reason why I'm wearing pants right now.
Because she normally has been wearing PJs the last 6 weeks of her life. What the hell are we even talking about? You guys are so silly. Oh, no, he's 27, and we're 39. And I can only imagine, like, just thinking, like, what you're going to do in the next decade or so, like, how successful this is going to be.
Right?
The video brand.
Like everything you've already accomplished by the time you're
Put the
37.
pressure on, guys. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm happy you're on our team and our friends. I'm glad we got hooked up, through a mutual friend. We had a friend, Phil. Phil Van Nostrum out of New York, and great photographer.
Another cool name.
Yeah, he's
Phil
incredible.
shot our grand opening party. He came out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. So you can follow his work online, but I told Beth in the parking lot before, and I don't know if she totally knew. Like, Phil, I think it went down. She just texted both of us in a rant and said, "You guys have to know each other." And then the first time I called you, we talked like businessmen for like an hour. I've been trying to set this up ever since. So
that happens a lot with Phil. That happens a lot in general.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, you guys need to get an email.
Well,
you guys have to know each other.
You know people all over the world, right? I mean,
yes.
the fact that you're working all over the world.
Yeah. I mean, the more that I work around, the more I meet people, and try to keep in contact with them.
So, that's great. So, Beth, tell me what you love about this place.
Okay, so I know for like myself, you kind of said it too. Like when you're driving down the road, you're kind of like, where are we? Like, where are we about to go? And then you see it, and it's so beautiful. The outside facade with the cutest font you've ever seen. You said I think you said it was like a classic font.
Well, it feels to me like a 50s deco kind of font, but I might be wrong.
I don't know. So, but it's so cute. So like the whole outside is white with a black cute, and then there's like this old chimney with the cute ivy growing up.
So you came at a good time. The greenery, Madison does not always show the best in the winter because we get all that white snow, and you're like, that building does not look white anymore, and all the greenery dies in the back alleys.
It's so beautiful.
Having a good time.
So cute. And then we went around the corner, so we actually parked right outside of where the alley is, where there's these lights that over, and the whole time you're sitting there, like you just put chairs down and you get married. Like that's it. Like
or
I mean,
cocktail
it's
hours
so
or
beautiful. I bet cocktail hours amazing.
Tournaments back there. You know, it's
wow.
People love it. It lights up. It's especially in the summertime here in Ohio. It's warm. It's humid, but come 9 p.m.
Beautiful.
On a summer night.
What about Bethy? I wanted to ask her. What about some other amenities? Like, can people get ready here? How's that?
Yeah, so we have 2 getting ready rooms. We got them all designed out by Restoration Hardware. We went there and had them.
We love that. Our whole house is filled with that overpriced Chinese stuff.
Oh man, when we bought that stuff, I said, "Can we buy 2 couches and get a third one free?" And they said no.
Of course.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
honey.
Fine. But we went there. One of my friends is the designer here for one of the stores, and we had the whole room layout and tried to make it good for makeup and getting ready and bathrooms and photography. So a big couch and big mirrors and natural light. And
Love it.
It's pretty minimal, but it's, again, I think that's the thing is I've worked in so many venues where you're shooting the bride in like this dungeon of a room.
Right.
And you're like, this sucks. My photos and my video look terrible because we're in this.
I always say this.
One window.
So we always say this, a dungeon, but in Columbus, one of the most famous cathedrals down there, you are actually in a dungeon with dead people buried in the walls.
Yeah, they buried the bishops and priests.
Yes, so like, we got to go shoot in the dungeon again. But I mean, that saves clients and couples, time and effort of getting a hotel chain, trying to move on your wedding date, having a great getting ready is really
just
superb.
Like you said, like it's another feature where it saves them money that they don't even know
They
don't think about it. We've had some amazing weddings here where they're just here the whole day. They hang out, they get food delivered, their makeup comes here, they get dressed, and then they go out into the town and get photos done, and then they come back here and get photos done. And we're very close to downtown, so you can get to the west side and go down to the water, whatever. We're fast.
I love it.
The world is your oyster.
I'm glad we finally learned about this. Let people know how they find you down, how they track you down, how they can come in for a visit.
Well, on Instagram, it's the Madison Venue. Online, it's themadisonvenue.com. Put in an inquiry there. You can, you'll get connected to our director of sales, Jamie, who's amazing, and she'll get you in and do a tour, a virtual tour now, whatever you need. We have lots of photos, video, of course.
Of course.
We can send. So yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Beth, we have to have Chris in to our studio here coming up to talk about Storybox and all the world travels and the crazy stories.
Because that's
and
like a whole nother, I have
that's
so many
questions. So many questions.
And yes.
Okay.
And then he can show you his fancy camera.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to steal that from you.
I'll bring it.
At some point in the future. Wow. Okay.
It'll just be 5 terabytes.
Follow Storybox Cinema online. Follow the Madison Venue in Cleveland. As always, follow Seth and Beth on YouTube. And our podcast is now on all the audio outlets,
This is
too.
Chris Love right here.
Chris Love, great.
That's
And,
Chris Love.
Chris, thank you for joining us. You're incredible. This is incredible. I can't wait to see this place grow and our friendship grow. And I'm so glad we came up. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you.